Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. This is our grand finale of Becoming Sister Wives. I am so excited because I'm over this book.
Mostly, yeah, because it gets us into Christine's book, even though we are finishing out with Christine and Robyn's section here. Maybe some of the Kody epilogue as well.
I might touch on that a little bit.
Not so much.
I'm loving how much reading these books is reflecting my real life behavior because this is what I normally do. I jump to another book before I ever finish the one that I was previously reading.
Yeah, that kind of happens just as part of the process here.
So this is like a lot for me to actually follow through with the last two chapters here.
There wasn't much to them, if we're being totally honest.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand really like what the point of the celebrity section is. It is kind of a nice way to wrap everything up because it is a bit reflective, but there's not a lot new that's shared, which is what makes it a drag to get through.
I'm still upset that the family segment was so short when that seemed to be the primary emphasis as far as what they were really pushing for as part of the show, as part of the book. Seemed like that was the main message that they were really going for, but that didn't really land here as part of the book, the publication that we got at the end of the day here.
Well, let's get through this so that we can then move on to Christine's book.
Yeah, we've got chapter 15, Christine, as part of the celebrity portion here, segment of the book.
The Woman of the Hour.
Yes. It's a lot of the repeat stuff.
I know, shocking. They all grew up not being able to talk about being part of a polygamist family.
Yeah. Kept it as quiet as you could. Didn't want to let the cat out of the bag as far as the risks that were involved. Especially Christine got into her family history here with her grandfather and her father and their experiences of being pursued by the law enforcement at the time for bigamy offenses, scattering the family to different states or different corners of the state.
We've heard that story 100 times.
A couple hundred times.
101.
We're going to hear it again.
But the thing that I zeroed in on that part about was that she was raised in a climate of fear. And I kind of think that we forget that over time as we talk about Christine, especially in the more recent years with her leaving the family, that I think a lot of her decisions were based on fear and that perhaps like even Kody knew that that was a way to motivate her in a particular direction when he needed to manipulate her.
Yes, because the interesting thing that she was calling out here too is that fear leads to secrecy and secrecy leads to abuse of power. She was saying that more in reference to the polygamist cults and the fundamental sects that have to avoid public interference here to maintain control over their base, their followers here. But I think that can apply to the family in some ways as well, is that fear leads to secrecy, secrecy leads to abuse of power. We saw that through the manipulation that Kody kind of twists things around here and there as needed to get Christine moving in the direction that he would prefer.
Well, yeah, it's funny when you think of it too. Like there was a lot that they kept secret from the cameras. And that's what's come out over the years, even maybe not even talking about Christine, looking at Mary and everything that was going on in Mary and Kody's marriage that they didn't want to talk about. And that just prolonged the amount of abuse that was taking place within the family. And it's the same concept.
Same thing.
But that seems to be lost on them a little bit.
Well, Christine admits that she tends to always look on the bright side of life. She has this bubbly, outgoing, sweet nature and disposition about her where she can't tend to see things for what they are necessarily.
I thought you were going to start a rendition of The Sunny Side by the Plath Family Band. I thought it was coming when your little intro to that.
Oh, keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side.
Thank you for humoring me.
No, it's the Monty Python song. Always look on the bright side of life.
Is Christine really just that bubbly and happy, or Is she like just a little deluded? I don't know.
Well, you have to.
It's a terrible thing to say.
No, it becomes a
but to a certain extent,
like a conscious effort to be that
a little disassociated from reality.
Yeah, like oblivious. It's a willing obliviousness because you have to kind of avoid things, which I mean that tracks, right? Is where it's not necessarily addressing things that are uncomfortable or
instead just pretending that you're looking for the silver lining in something. Then I don't know if that's what you're trying to say.
No, I mean, like, I think it's not even about like, oh, let's see the positivity in it. It's let's completely ignore if it is bad. Don't think about it. Don't address it.
Pretend it's not there.
Pretend it doesn't exist, even though it very clearly exists.
It's not really the first time that Christine has dipped her toe in the world of coming out as a polygamist to the public, because she used to let things slip quite a bit.
Accidentally, of course, and sometimes kind of on purpose.
She wanted to kind of see what do people think about our family. And also, it's really hard to lie about who you are in every aspect of your life all of the time. So she tells this story about getting a job when they moved to Powell. And at the first day of work, she's making small talk with her boss. She's asking about her family life, and she's explaining that she has a husband named Kody and that they live with Cody's two sisters.
And some of their kids. It's a one big happy family.
A little bit of a Brady Bunch kind of thing.
Yeah, like it all worked out and it works out to everyone's benefit sort of living arrangement that we've landed upon here. But then she can't even drive away from her shift. She's in the parking lot about to drive away, and she's like, I gotta go back in and come clean about this because I lied to you on my first day of work to my direct superior.
Just like everything else, her boss is like, I kind of figured that when you were explaining your family structure, you probably weren't being honest and that you're most likely a polygamist. So not really a big deal. I already caught on to it.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Christine's not as smooth as she thinks that she is when she is talking about it. So if she
thought she had her fooled.
Yeah, like that she has to cover her tracks in this way.
The guilt of that woman just completely bought every word that I said.
I don't know how I'm going to go to sleep tonight. My head hits the pillow. I'm going to be full of regret.
I kind of struggle with stories like this, though, because are they genuinely that fearful of people finding out about their religious beliefs and the way that they live their life and having Kody taken away from the family? Because you just met this woman. It's your first day of work. You don't have an established trusting relationship to know how she's going to react.
No, but this was yet another example of she never judged me. Yes, all of the times that you're so concerned about this horrible mistreatment of you for your religious beliefs and the way that you decide to live out those beliefs, again, we do not have an example of discrimination of any kind that is taking place here. The only discrimination, I think one lady was a little jealous that you had that much family support.
Yeah, but I also kind of feel that maybe that's because people aren't always willing to say how they really feel to your face. Because there's got to be a bunch of people who are very anti-polygamy because we see them in other places, maybe not in these stories as examples, but there are a lot of people who feel that this is wrong. And certainly there are people in positions of power who have written laws to ensure that it does not continue. But they've got a plan for that because the fundamentalist Mormons have an organization called Principal Voices, which is the nonprofit that we've heard talked about before that Christine worked for. Or did she get paid? Was she on the payroll, or this was something that she did?
It's a privilege.
Because it's a privilege and it's an honor.
Of course, probably.
To be selected to participate.
Because Christine, I don't know if you guys know this, she is part of a prominent polygamous family. So after being married to Kody for just a few years, they came to her and were like, hey, you should be on the board representing, you know? So it becomes her mission to educate people about polygamous families and the polygamous culture.
They're trying to disassociate themselves from the image of the FLDS, who are not represented amongst this board. So it's kind of like damage control, like a PR organization. And that's where Christine gets her intro to media training, which I believe was very valuable to them as they started this show.
Is this what media training is, though? Or was this a very specific set of skills that Principal Voices was instructing Christine on here? Because she was talking about extensive media training on how to field questions to just skim the surface of a question, give a truthful answer, but not too much detail, and how to deflect questions. That's it?
That's literally like training that you take in college when you're learning about public relations.
Okay.
Because I had to do that.
There you go.
And it's very uncomfortable because they're trying to put you in a scenario where someone's going to be asking you a very difficult question, and you learn different approaches or skills to redirect those questions. I mean, think of when you're aggravated about listening to politicians try to explain something, or, you know, watching somebody in a news broadcast and you feel like they never really answered the question. That's because they have very good media training.
They're dancing all around
and they've been taught how to do that. The point is really to figure out what your message is when you go into an interview and do everything possible to direct the interview back to those points.
It's an association game.
Well, it's also usually not what the interviewer is interested in hearing you talk about.
Right.
So it is a bit of a game that you're trying to use the interview for the purpose that you're there for, and they're trying to get answers to create some type of interesting content.
Now, the story that they're going with is a pretty boring one that they're trying to push here, is that the Browns are a fairly average, stable, all-American family. Boring. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. Who wants to watch that show? A good, wholesome, all-American family on television. Boo.
Wait, so are you talking about the point where Principal Voices says, hey, your family is great, and we think that you should be the ones who go do this big interview on TV?
Yeah, they start using the Browns as the example, the staple family.
That part kind of made me laugh because the way she describes the vetting process of how they got to them was basically, there's not any incestuous marriages in your family tree.
Nobody underage getting married forcibly against their will.
Those are all putting you at the top of the list. We really don't have a lot of other families to select from.
Look, you guys are on the fast track. I mean, if you want to do all of the interviews, I could probably set you up for that.
So they end up flying to New York with some of the kids and going to do this interview. But it's not actually real? Is that what I'm gathering from this?
It was sounding like this was a demo. Okay, she described it as like a demo or a promo for a journalist. So sometimes what happens is early on in a journalist's career, they need to come up with their own content. They had to create the content before there were content creators to show like to come up with a body of work.
See, in marketing, we call that a sizzle reel.
A sizzle reel. Yes. I mean, you can call it that. It was like a portfolio. You have to have examples of your work, but like when nobody wants to hire you, you have to do your own stories. You have to come up with your own stuff. Plus, that's also a vetting thing of, well, that's interesting. Are you able to seek out interesting stories? So that becomes another skill set that's valuable as a journalist too.
I wonder what happened to this. Did this person get a job afterward?
Yeah, right? Like
now I'm invested.
Did anything come of this? But that was like kind of a sigh of relief for Christine, where she was like, oh, thank God, nobody's going to watch this. It's not going to like broadcast out anywhere.
They're getting credit for having done it because they were asked to by the nonprofit. But then also there's no real risk because it's not going anywhere.
It's a win-win. Yeah. We're doing good stuff. And also Is
this a family member who was trying to become a journalist, like related to somebody on this board?
Maybe not.
It feels like they're doing someone a favor.
But like, also, that doesn't further your goal of what you're talking about, educating the masses about this. Oh, it's just a relief that no one's going to see this. Then you're not teaching anyone anything.
Aside from this journalist's potential future employers.
The one journalist, if you change one journalist's mind, then you change thousands of minds, I guess.
That must have been the mantra going into it.
That had to have been the goal here.
While they're there, the production crew mentions this could be a really interesting documentary if we were to follow you. And she just poo-poos that because a documentary is not the right format, which cracked me up. Because, we've been saying since the beginning of time that this show, Sister Wives, is shot like a documentary or a docuseries, not like a reality TV show.
It is. For too long, they filmed it.
It was a never-ending documentary.
They were stuck in documentary mode, and it was grueling because we didn't have a documentary anymore. There was no documentary story anymore to be told. You have a reality TV program, as Mary would say.
I kind of get the vibe that Kody got a taste of what it was like to have a little bit of celebrity walking through Times Square. I've just completely fictionalized that entire story, but Can't you see it? Walking into the M&M store.
All it takes is for Kody to walk through Times Square to immediately realize this is the high life.
He has a calling now. Living openly is something that he was called to do. And the vehicle through which they're going to do it is being on television.
Okay, see, where I got suspicious was maybe the calling that Kody was having to live openly was just his cry for help, where he was hoping he would be arrested. He was hoping he would be stripped away.
Way out.
It was his way to get out of this sort of
3 hots
mess.
and a cot was really sounding pretty attractive at this point.
He just wants to turn his brain off. He doesn't want to have to go to work anymore.
Because there's no Robyn yet.
There's no Robyn.
To reawaken his spice for life.
I didn't like that, though. Yeah, maybe a zest for life. Too zesty. Let's
no pepper, though.
Tone it down.
Make it less spicy. I have to know if it's true that if you want to make a documentary or anything that has to do with polygamists that you're going to need to, I guess you could say, cast, you have to go through principal voices, that they're the gatekeepers to the talent in the polygamous world.
Well, it just seems like, like an agency then at that point. You're central casting.
Are you really a nonprofit then?
How does this work? Yeah, you guys trying to get into showbiz? Is that what's going on here? You guys just want an in?
Does Seeking Sister Wife have to? Well, I guess there's a difference, right? That's polyamory.
Yeah. And a lot of them, it's not through religious affiliation.
That's why we've had to have this whole new genre of shows be developed. They couldn't get enough response from principal voices every time these casting agencies and producers were reaching out.
It's a real bottleneck for the programming.
So all the polygamous content that we could be consuming, guys.
I liked how Christine was like, the interviews were going well when it was just me. I didn't want to have like the whole family involved. It was better when it was just I could answer. It was
my thing. Gold hoop earrings were my thing.
It's just better if it's just me answering. I had the media training. You get Kody in front of a camera and he just sort of rambles on.
Well, he wants to know, if you get any more opportunities for us to be on television, I need you to let me know. Because I'm going to say yes to the next thing that comes to us.
And it just so happens Tim Gibbons comes a knocking and is interested in doing a reality TV series program featuring none other than the Brown family, because he had such a great vision for the show.
They really get sold on the whole thing.
The vision of the show.
From what he shares about what he believes the show's going to be.
How did he pitch the first season?
He thought that if he portrayed our family as honestly and openly as possible and showed how essentially normal we are, that people might begin to understand that there's not a whole lot of difference between most polygamists and the rest of the world.
But also he said he would respect our wishes whenever we needed to deal with something off camera. Nothing says open and honest like not dealing with things on camera.
I want to know the list of things over the years that they refused to film, because it has to be lengthy.
If you just look at the body of work of what was produced for season 1, that was what was pitched to them, where they were sold over the moon with the idea of, oh, Kody goes a courting and marries Robyn. Like, that was the first season.
I think they filmed a lot of boring stuff that we didn't see, where they were just in the kitchen or folding laundry. And the story about Robyn and courting and the marriage and all the things that then fell out of that, like
picking the dress
and all of it, that just naturally came to be from them filming a lot.
So they're pretty much on board. They're moving forward with this plan. It sounds like a good thing. What we're going to need all the kids to do at this point is to go ahead and tell your friends that we're a polygamous family. We need to come out to the people that we know in our lives first.
So they told the kids to go tell their friends about this, give them a heads up because we're going to be on TV.
Well, and like you guys do it first, and then we'll
tell our friends and family and employers.
But
eventually.
But I'm nervous about it. So I need Aspen, you need to do it first, okay? And Aspen is stressing about telling some of her friends, but it ended up working out pretty okay. They seem to be very understanding to the circumstances. Maddie, on the other hand, not a great experience. Just getting some weird questions in response to the news that's being shared here.
Yeah, her friend's understanding of a polygamous family is definitely based on the vision of the FLDS. This is the same period of time that Warren Jeffs is on trial, so there's a lot out there about it. And so she's asking if she's married to her uncle.
No, it's a different family member. Don't worry.
Oh, I walked right into that, didn't I?
I was hoping you would just casually mention it because I highlighted
really
that.
Teed that up great.
And I said, oh, no, she didn't marry an uncle, but still, family reunion meetups, not so good.
Oh, no. It turns out great, though, because now the kids can invite their friends over. They're allowed to walk them through the whole apartment, I guess, aside from through Mary's.
Or take your shoes off first.
Of the house.
Yeah, be mindful of that.
So it's very different from what they're used to. One problem is when you decide to go on television and you have relatives and you're going to go on TV and say, I grew up in a family living this lifestyle, that people who know you are now by proxy going to know that your siblings, your parents, your cousins are all also probably polygamists.
And most of them weren't ready to be outed. So that's where things get very complicated very quickly here as far as the setup goes for the show.
She said that they started doing things to almost erase the people who didn't want to be on television from being around. Like, I guess they probably took down family photos, anything that could be filmed.
Yeah, or if there were larger family gatherings that were on camera as well, too, then they were making sure to work around that. I don't know if they were blurring faces or anything like that, but if it was just avoiding including people who did not want to participate as part of the filming, but they were still able to attend whatever the event would be.
Yeah, it was really fascinating when we get to Robyn's chapter because she talks about something very similar and how her family members really were not happy about this. And yet, if I recall, they couldn't put her house on the market when all of the other houses in Vegas were listed because she had to host a family reunion there.
Seemed like they got over it pretty quick.
I guess they came around eventually.
Seems to be. But it wasn't just family members that were disappointed. Also, a lot of the people in their church were very disappointed because going public, it's taking this sacred, guarded thing in their religion, and then it's kind of like casting pearls before swine if you're going to just televise
As one of the
this.
swine, I found that really insulting.
Well, look, oink, oink, bitches, because like
we're eating this shit up.
I'm here for the slop. Give me my grease, clean my pen, and then just dump whatever you want in here.
Wouldn't you think that they would care probably the most about how the church felt about them doing this and how they're going to be representing their faith as a whole?
Yeah, what did the organization
I don't know.
feel?
I guess it's on the back burner to the fact that Kody feels called to this.
That is a very important part of this whole experience here. Yeah, I don't know. Is Principal Voices getting a cut of this or something? Have they been worked in as part of this deal? Is it a talent agency release sort of arrangement that we have in place? Perhaps. Maybe there's...
You're going to start a rumor.
Maybe there's something of value here.
There's going to be an article about this soon.
I don't know.
Written by an AI bot.
No. Well, don't allege that. People are getting sued over that now.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't accuse anyone.
Accusing.
In particular.
Right.
Just generally.
Generally.
Well, the cameras are showing up because they don't really care what anyone else's opinion is.
No. Kody has a calling.
And Christine's also going through something similar to what Mary did with how do I be seen on camera? Can I be in my pajamas? Should I do my hair? Should I do my makeup?
Lights, camera, and me without a stitch of makeup
on. Can't believe we missed that last week when Mary
struggle.
talked about it.
It's the same struggle. Don't worry. They had the same writing outline, same ghostwriter. So it all ends up being a weird amalgamation of all the other parts too.
They're trying to craft an image of what their family looks like, but they're saying this is just us. The cameras just showed up one day and started filming. But then we're finding out that Christine's kind of overthinking things. She's putting different outfits on the kids. She's worried about them being seen kind of unkept with uncombed hair. She's completely redecorating their bedrooms so that they look better than they did before. She's frantically cleaning the house because it's very dirty, and she's now realizing it.
How things might be unacceptable to a television audience. She was repainting bedrooms. Carly knows a thing or two about that. I wonder how long it took her to pick a color. How many swatches do you think
Not as long as me. Me and Mary will be picking paint colors for years.
Shoji white or toasted sesame?
If your house is painted in Sherwin-Williams Shoji white, please tell me what you think about it in the comments.
I think it's too neutral. I think it's picking up too much stuff. When the light bounces in at different parts of the day, it looks totally different. It's a little too neutral. It's not much of anything. It's absorbing what's around it.
Anxiety because now I'm thinking we have to go back to the drawing board.
I like the sesame.
More chips from Woes.
The sesame was good because the times when I like the shoji, it's when it looks like the sesame one.
White sesame.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody's wondering. Sherwin-Williams white sesame.
Open sesame is what it is for me.
The media training was really helpful, at least for them talking about the lifestyle that they live, because that's really the stuff that Christine was trained on. But this show is opening so much more about her life that she's going to have to start talking about her marriage. And she doesn't have enough media training to figure out how to talk about that in a diplomatic way.
I don't know how to focus on a positive for that. There's not a lot of positive to go with.
I don't have a message that I can direct back to that is going to get me out of answering any of this.
And that's what Janelle ended up doing, where great father, he's a real good dad, very good. That was her talking point that she would always go back to. And then that ran out of gas during COVID very quickly. So it becomes difficult because if you're going to be going in depth about this, Christine usually speaks very frankly, very curtly to an extent, because she's still very guarded here too. I think both things are true. I think she does say things very directly at times, but then also she isn't completely honest with where she is emotionally, though.
My opinion is that when she's really excited about something or worked up about it, then she tends to go off on a tangent and maybe say things that she'll later regret.
Because that was like the divorce seasons. When she was leaving Kody, when she packed all of his stuff up in boxes and left it out in the garage, she was leaving his ass. And she was popping off with all sorts of stuff because she was over it.
It was bottled up.
She was sick of it. So then she would say things that maybe she shouldn't say on camera, but she was saying on camera. And that was nice to see as part of a show, for sure.
I think that was some sweet relief for her after all of the years of having to pretend that everything was fine.
It was all bottled up.
Tim had to know. Tim and his staff, she mentions that they all really started to trust production of the show because they would never take anything that they said and then twist it so that it was out of context just to make it dramatic.
Not like those other crooks and journalists on the media tour where they'll push for any sort of juicy tidbit soundbite that they can get their hands on and put a little spin on it and make it sound like you're saying something way more salacious than you actually meant to.
I gotta admit, I didn't really highlight much from the next couple of pages. But if I'm recalling from my reading, the point of it was that they did one interview that went really well and they enjoyed it. Then as part of this press junket, they went and talked to another journalist who asked them a bunch of questions that made them feel really uncomfortable. And Christine got emotional and kind of broke down at the end.
Yeah. And then this reinforces, again, it's the dependency within the family that they are each other's safety net. They're their safe harbor. But like is that what the overall goal was? To just increase the dependency on each other in a way that they don't really have?
I'm not sure if that's intended or just going through something that's really difficult, like exposing yourself. Sounds wrong.
Well,
Exposing yourself on television, exposing your life on television. See, that's why carefully choosing your words is very important when you do an interview.
I like to expose myself on national television on a weekly basis. Be careful.
I cracked up at the part now where they're talking about traveling as a family and how it's not always easy. And it's enjoyable being able to travel and go on all of these tours to talk to press. But we have learned that we really have to meet each individual's needs. And that as a group, we have to listen to one another and accommodate one another. We've had to learn to express in a polite and constructive manner when someone's behavior is bothering us.
A lot of parenting that's going on amongst the parents here.
It's like, is that much different than your real life? This is just when we're traveling. These are things that they had to learn. But that doesn't apply outside of that.
Well, because normally I would just ignore it. Yeah, normally I would just bottle it up, ignore it, not do it. But I can't deal with it.
But I'm a real bitch when I haven't had enough sleep and I'm hungry and I just got off a plane off a red-eye flight.
Look, if I've been in and out of interviews all day and I haven't had anything to eat, and then somebody's bop yapping in my ear about some stuff, I think I'm over it. At a certain point, I'm going to have to say, please leave me alone. Need my alone time now. Thank you.
The fuse was short.
So doing that in polite and constructive manners, I think that's also how are you voicing what you need as an individual in this group? I feel like some people would probably be better at it than others.
Kody will get mad at you for that.
Yeah, it's too real. We're getting too close to being disrespectful.
Well, it's all okay because the kids' classmates refer to them as the Cullens. So we've really made it.
I thought that would be in the Robyn section. If Robyn heard anyone refer to the kids as the Cullens, then man, that would be on the list of things for Robyn to accomplish, which we'll get to.
Do you think that's her last thing on her life list, is to be transformed into a vampire that lives forever?
I think there were a few things on the list she didn't include in the book for publication.
Let's skip to her section. Chapter 16, Robyn. I am worried about how long it's going to take us to talk about this because she had a lot to say.
Okay, look, there was a part in this chapter where I was highlighting furiously. There was a large amount of highlighting that was going on in my book here. I have questions. I have lots of concerns. Most of this, though, it starts off with just yet some more trauma, rejection.
Yeah, but I do think that she reveals something that explains a lot about her behavior within the dynamic of the Brown family, because she's the child of her father's second wife. So he could not acknowledge her mom, Alice, or her siblings publicly. And that really, really, really wounded Robyn. She even tells a story about her dad being out in public with them, and someone that he worked with happened to be in the same place, and he ditched them. Like, he didn't know who they were, pretend that they didn't exist, that he wasn't just standing with them 5 minutes ago, and she didn't really know what to do with that.
Knew that he was doing it out of necessity. It was a requirement. It was to protect them rather than facing the ridicule and the potential legal struggles that would ensue there. What I'm seeing is like a lack of support. There's not a lot of stability in Robyn's life necessarily here. She doesn't have her father figure. She has very few friends, and most of her friends that she did have, she kept at a distance because she didn't want them suspecting anything about her family.
Except for her one friend, Danielle, who's her bestie. And so she decides that she's going to tell Danielle the truth about her family. And it does not go well.
So this could be one of those examples where the discrimination that is so heavily feared could be brought to light.
I do feel like, I understand this is a peer at the time, but this is your childhood friend who is also, a teenager around this time. And kids' framework of the world is typically based on things that they've heard from their parents or the adults around them. So I don't really feel like that would necessarily mean that that's indicative of Danielle's. I guess I can't say that that's really her opinion.
Right.
Because she's a child.
Yeah. And I mean, the right and wrong distinction through the lens of a childhood friend could probably be a little bit more restrictive than what we would see for someone with a fully developed frontal cortex.
As Robyn would say?
As Robyn would say.
But it doesn't really matter because she ends up changing her mind and they just agree to disagree when it comes to religion, which were they having intense discussions about their faiths?
Probably.
She's leading us to believe this friendship was based on.
What else would you do with your friends?
God, what a boring ass friend Robyn was.
No, and she was a boring wife too. She was the first wife in her first marriage. Ooh.
Can you call yourself the first wife if you were the only wife?
Just say the only wife.
But she wants to make it clear that she would have lived polygamy. She just didn't have the opportunity.
Oh, it's just things were too rocky.
Hey, that didn't stop the Brown family from expanding.
That's what I was going to say. That sounds like a requirement. It sounds like you needed to dilute your marriage,
Where's
Robyn?
the wedge wife who's supposed to come in and dilute you and your husband from having to deal with each other so much?
Who's the wedge wife?
I guess she didn't get that lesson.
No.
I guess it would have been her husband. He should have gone to the school of Kody Brown polygamy.
It's not accredited. Like most things.
He probably will be selling online DVDs where you can learn about that pretty soon. It's another way to make some money. And it taps into one of his old skill sets, selling the LDS tapes, remember?
There you go.
So she didn't really face a lot of adversity in this first marriage, aside from how difficult the marriage itself was. But from outsiders, nobody suspected that they were part of a different sect of their religion, that they were not LDS. They appeared to be an LDS family, which made it easier for them to, I guess, hide in public.
But hiding who I am is not in my nature.
Yes, I think I used up the ink on my highlighter with, I'm quite honest and outgoing. Outgoing. Remember the shy, pretty wife who doesn't have a whole lot to say? She says she's an outgoing person.
I kept
Self-described.
highlighting second-class citizen.
That too.
That's what I kept coming back to.
She brings that up multiple times.
Oh, yeah. But then this is where the first initial whispers about the show start coming in here.
I full on don't believe her.
I don't buy it either, because she was saying that she thought Kody was full of it. Yeah, right, you're going to be on TV. That's not going to happen. But then, it's slowly turning into a reality here.
She's kind of making it sound like the cameras just show up one day and start filming, and that's how production on a reality TV show starts. Untrue.
No, there were lots of conversations before that of what your involvement would be, what your level of involvement would be in the program.
Contracts.
Well, Janelle took care of most of that.
That's right.
For
well,
Robyn.
She wasn't signing Robyn's contract for her, was she? Robyn just asked how much the paycheck was.
That's what it comes down to. I need to get on a level financial playing field with the rest of the wives. And this is scary because this sounds a lot like a job. It sounds like something I'm going to have to commit to. I'm going to have to do this. They're going to pay me for it. I don't know. That's a lot of pressure. I just wanted to live a quiet and tranquil life.
That's not what she's gotten.
No.
No, being on the show, I don't think tranquility is the thing that pops up in my mind when I think of Kody and Robyn Brown.
I don't think that Robyn is capable of peace and tranquility in a lot of ways. And I'm kind of glad that she isn't able to achieve that, too. It seems fitting for the most part.
This is where I have a really hard time again with the idea of there being some sort of divine intervention, because Kody believes that he's called to do this. And so now Robyn believes that, well, I've been given the testimony that we share a destiny. Right. So that means that I guess I'm supposed to be on television too.
I need to do the show as well. Yes. It took me a couple of times reading this sentence because I think I was reading it the way my brain wanted it to be read. But the sentence as it's written says, I did consider not marrying Kody because of the show.
Okay. My brain did the same thing and scrambled that up when I read it too. She
So you
she definitely considered marrying Kody on the basis of the fact that he's going to be on TV.
Yeah, I think that was what they didn't know what she meant. The sentence that she described to them in her word salad for the ghostwriter to put together was like, I don't know what to make of this.
How many double negatives do you think there were?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. She was all scrambled up that day. And so they were like, wait, you considered not marrying? So you did consider not marrying Kody on the basis of if you would or would not do the show. What?
I'm so confused now.
We need to eliminate a few
The lady
negatives.
doth protest too much. Now she claims she doesn't want to really be on TV, so she had a double think.
Double.
She had a double back on maybe if she was going to marry him, but then she totally didn't because their destinies are intertwined, so she's going to be on reality TV.
But that is what is so odd, because I thought she was saying I never like combined those reasons of like marrying Kody because of the show. I thought that was what she was trying to say, but I don't think that's what she was trying to say. I think she was saying she thought about not marrying Kody because of the show.
Yeah.
But then that's weird
what that
thing.
sentence means.
Yeah, but then that's a strange thing to just throw out there as part of your autobiography. Very strange statement to claim. Nobody asked, but okay.
Well, that's why it's the lady doth protest too much.
Yeah.
She's got to get out there in front of a story before we all come up with something. It's very clear that she knows what the audience thinks of her. So she must be making sure that whatever she says, she's, one, communicating clearly, which she is failing at.
Not doing good.
And, like, two, that she's worried about how it's going to be twisted.
Okay, and the other messed up part that this leads into then is how her family was horrified by her decision to live publicly here, which that did not seem like the case in the marriage section when, who was it? Reba was all about Robyn marrying into this family.
I also was confused because the two people who had a huge problem with her going on this show were her mom and her dad, who we saw multiple times throughout the filming of this show.
Eventually, because at first...
Okay, eventually.
Yeah.
But her dad is in the first season.
Correct. But like at
it hasn't
first,
even aired yet.
They didn't, they weren't too keen on it. They weren't sure. It might be morally wrong, personally dangerous, and sacrilegious. Those are three pretty big reasons.
I'm going to have to say, I'm understanding why people of the faith didn't want this show to be on TV and to have polygamy lived for people to watch, because there is a lot that seems to be hidden beneath the surface. And maybe that's what you don't want exposed rather than like this righteous way of living.
It leaves more opportunities for people to point out the flaws than it does to point out the benefits.
There were a lot of flaws here.
There were a significant amount of flaws. And then that's the thing too, is then if you're putting this in front of the public and you're saying, look how great this is, the public is going to look and analyze and start asking things that make you question now as a participant in this reality TV program. Is it good? Is it that? Is it everything that we're building it up to be? Maybe there are some lurking feelings, some nagging negative emotions that you had that were just kind of lingering in the background, in the back of your mind here, that were going unaddressed. And now people are verbalizing those questions directly to you.
I don't know. All I can tell you is Robyn's pretty butthurt that Alice won't keep her tagged photos on her page on Facebook.
That's what really hurts. That's what hurts the most.
Oh, she doesn't want to have anyone know that Robyn is her child. Also, this is kind of a reoccurring theme because also, even when they weren't filming, there were family members who would stay far away from her when they would go to the same event. And I'm not so sure that had to do with going public.
I think that's just a Robyn thing in general. If Robyn was showing up at your family events, would you hang out with her?
No. She's a real stick in the mud. And I think she smells because she wears a lot of polyester blends. Just an opinion. You looked really shocked by that.
I wasn't expecting that as part of the analysis for this chapter. No, I was not.
Something I've been thinking about for a long time. Ooh, let's get to the life list because I've been really looking forward to talking about this in depth. So a few years before she married Kody, she was at the lowest point of her life. I guess this is where She-Ra took over and made a list of everything that Robyn She-Ra Brown to be was going to need to accomplish in the future. And I'm glad she kept things realistic.
Yes, here's what's on my list. Change the world. Meet Oprah. Write a bestseller. Own a business.
Now I look back and think, be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. She believes she's changed the world.
I mean, in some ways she has.
She's changed the world of reality television. They met Oprah. She wrote a bestseller.
Technically, I mean, it is her name on it. Yeah.
And then she doesn't own a business as of the writing of this book, but we know she's going to.
Eventually.
Like, it doesn't say, I'm going to own a successful business.
She kept her options open and available to her. Don't put too much pressure on it to be a successful
qualifier
business.
On that.
No. Just need a business.
So she could check that off. Done. Sadly, her venture into the world of reality television didn't garner the most positive experience because people immediately labeled her a homewrecker and were convinced that she is manipulative and conniving and here to destroy this family.
That she has ulterior motives. She's out to get everyone here. But I do respect Robyn here where she realizes it's important to interact with the fans, though. So even though there's some negative stuff online that comes up, she still parses through that and is able to answer those questions and get that direct one-on-one personal connection with the fans out there.
You know what? That's explaining the belly groping photo that was taken a few weeks back.
At the beer garden fest, whatever was going on
Robyn,
there.
If you're a fan and you come up to her in public, she's not going to make a fuss. She's not going to try to tell you anything about herself that you need to change your opinion of her. But she will pose in compromising positions that may then become an article or a headline about what's going on in her life. Because she's a people pleaser at heart.
She's not going to say, hey, get your hand out of there. That's not good.
That'll just reinforce everything they think they know about me. It was interesting that she had conversations with Tim Gibbons. Tiny Tim, I don't know. I was having a really hard time getting that out.
God bless us.
That there were certain things that he was going to need to tread lightly on with her because she didn't want to give anyone ammo to dislike her any more than they already did.
Doesn't that feel manipulative and conniving? Does that not fulfill
a little bit
the prophecy that you have foretold for yourself?
What did we not see that was left on the cutting room floor?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Man, there could be a whole series of just whatever behind the scenes stuff.
Oh my God. When this show eventually runs its course, that needs to be the second coming of it, is just watching the stuff. I don't even need you to edit it.
No.
I don't need it to have a story. I just want the outtakes.
But no. That's not what we're here for on this run. If it's going to be part of the canon Sister Wives experience, we need to dwell on the positives. There can be no negativity. But that's not going to excuse Robyn from complaining about every single aspect of her wedding and her extremely long courtship that has been up for endless commentary and judgment about the wedding, the reception, the jar with the balloons on it, the honeymoon.
She skipped the jar. We judged that pretty hard, though. You know, kissing her fiance before the wedding, although she left out the part where people were upset because Christine was in labor at the same time.
I think that was the reason.
Like, you're purposely leaving out important details of the story that explain why people are upset, which again is a little bit manipulative.
To minimize, your involvement in what was fucked up about it. That's kind of the part here that's being glossed over very quickly. I was highlighting like crazy this whole segment because then this was the part where I was like, oh gosh, this is building the case for the vow renewal here, is where all of her complaints about the world's opinion that she had to deal with for her wedding planning and their nuptials and how it was cheapened and stripped away the beauty of something special. So then that's what I thought, well, maybe they won't televise it. Maybe they won't do it as part of the show. They are going to do a vow renewal, but it'll be for them. It's not going to be for the cameras because it has to just be for Kody and Robyn. But then I thought, wasn't that what the legal wedding was? Or the paperwork shuffle as part of the legal divorce so that Kody could adopt the kids? That is kind of what they did. They snuck off. They made it their own thing. They didn't do it on camera.
And they celebrate that day, even though they claimed that they didn't even care what day it was. They wouldn't remember it.
They don't want the public to know about the day, but they know about the day. That's
it's
their
thing.
little
secret thing.
Yes.
Like many secrets they kept between them that alienated the rest of the family. It feels so much like what we already saw in the trailer for season 20, where they don't want to live in the She-Ra Chateau anymore because it's got all of these bad memories.
Yucky energy.
I am waiting for a vow renewal to become part of the show. And I get what you're saying, that why would they put it on TV when they feel like it was criticized the first time around?
Oh, because we're going to go hard on it, too. So just letting you know, if you do throw it out there in a future season, we're going to rip it to shreds. Yeah.
But also, they need to keep the show going, and you can't just continue to show us Rora and Brianna going church shopping.
Yeah, because you even went half-baked on that as a storyline, too, because you just kind of tapered off, trailed off.
I promised more than I received.
Even though I did poo-poo it on that survey that TLC was flying around on social media.
You know what? We regretted that. Don't give us any more surveys. Just you guys make the executive decisions.
Yeah, show me the content first so I at least have an idea. Because at first I was like, no, this is terrible. And then when we got into it, I was like, actually, yeah, that could be 3 seasons for me.
What we all need to stop doing is going, this sounds boring. No. These people are at their best when they're doing mundane things.
Yeah, like that's why the show worked. Because that's what Christine and Mary were both confused about. Why do you want to watch me talking about groceries and doing things around the house and just the everyday things that I'm doing as part of my life? That sounds so boring. Yeah, it sounds boring on paper. But then the show, there's something magical that happens with this.
It's because they don't expose themselves when they know they're in the midst of something dramatic.
Yes.
When they're doing something, just going about their day, doing something mundane, thinking that it's not interesting, we find out a lot more about what's going on, or they reveal things about themselves.
Inadvertently. They're not even aware of it, but there's so much more that's being revealed in those moments. I think that is it. Yeah.
You're welcome, Puddle Monkey, or whoever the fuck is making this show now.
I liked how Robyn had her, oh yeah, we're creating more tolerant world, I guess, for the kids or whatever. It was a total afterthought moment because she has all of these reasons why the show is so great for her and how it's accomplishing all of her goals and the things that she sought out to do, the dreams that she was looking to accomplish. And oh yeah, by the way, a more tolerant world for the kids too. Yeah, sure. It's for the kids.
And so she can walk into a restaurant and confront the waitress about the fact that she is, in fact, Kody's other wife. Do we agree that they were
fun doing it?
What's the Mexican place?
Lindo, Michoacan?
Lindo, Michoacan. Thank you. We went there.
We did go there.
And don't you get I can see it playing out in my mind. The waitress walking past the little booth.
Well, all I'm thinking
staring
about
at Robyn
are the children who were running wild in our dining experience, and they smashed a glass. But
was it a glass? It was something they brought with them.
No, it was glass. It broke.
There were a couple things that went wrong before they left. The food was good.
The food was very good.
I recall that.
I had the mole. It messed me up, but it was good. This felt like one of those embellished stories, then everybody stood up and clapped sort of moments. I don't know if Robyn would have the balls to do this.
Oh, so you don't believe it?
Not that I don't believe it. I don't know if it went down like this, exactly the way that she's describing it. Or if Kody said that.
Oh,
this doesn't
taking
sound
credit for maybe what he said.
Yeah, like this doesn't sound like something that Robyn would say to a random person.
So the story is that they go to a restaurant to eat, and a waitress is giving Robyn a dirty look, and Kody, and they're trying to figure out what this waitress has against them. And then Kody remembers that he just ate here last week with Mary, and the same waitress was their server. So this person is probably thinking that this man is here cheating on his wife.
I don't think...
Do you
jump right to that?
waiters, waitresses out there? I know y'all are very busy. Are you really dedicating the time to determining whether or not the people you're serving are having an affair?
When I was working in a restaurant, I don't remember a lot of faces.
Recall people who came in from the week before?
No. The week before? No. I mean, if it was Kody, though, Cody's got a look about him where that might be memorable. That might be stand out. Seems like Kody remembers the staff.
Because I think he talks a lot. Like, you can't get away from the table. I think he asks a lot of questions about everything on the menu.
But he's been here so many times.
I don't know if that matters.
I thought they were going to be at the fondue place. That was where I was picturing them for this one.
Either way, her interpretation of it is that this woman who was serving them kind of backed off when she heard that Robyn was also his wife. And like, oh yeah, now I'm recalling. You guys are those people from TV.
Yeah, if she knows you guys from the show, there's a reason why she's giving you and Kody
Right.
the stank eye.
I think she probably did not like you, Robyn, and knew who you were. I think there's probably a pretty good chance of that. Let's talk about Oprah. We're going to have to go find this interview when they were on the Oprah show, because this is one of the highlights of Robyn's life, or it was supposed to be.
It was going to be, because she was at the lowest of lows in her life, and Oprah was there. Oprah was there at the inception of She-Ra, picking up the pieces of Robyn as a single mother with nothing to give you.
That is when you know that you've reached a low point in life, when daytime TV has become the thing that you look forward to every day, which millions of women have experienced this.
Robyn knows Oprah won't let her down like the rest of the world has.
Now, we've actually been outside of the Oprah studio. Were you with me when we did that tour?
I don't remember.
Well,
it did not have a lasting impression on me the way it had on Robyn.
Because it is just a boring square building.
I've been on sound stages before, so it's not...
in a not exciting area of the city.
The magic is not something that can be encapsulated when you're there in person. That's what Robyn's saying, is it looks so great on TV. It's so warm and inviting and cozy. And then you get there and it's a TV show. It's a sound stage. It's got this rickety furniture. It's cold. It's like a big empty warehouse. It's
almost like these shows are made on a stage, which she doesn't understand because it's so different from the reality world.
Well, yeah. This felt like Robyn was breaking the fourth wall, though, because then she's saying it's part make-believe. It creates fantasies for the at-home viewers. Like, that's what this show does, too. How many fantasies have we created as at-home viewers of Sister Wives?
Okay, to be fair, I'm wondering if that's something that she tells herself, because she feels like what she thinks her life is so different from the way people perceive it, that she would rather imagine when a show goes through a television, something crazy happens and people watch it and they get something very different from what the reality of the situation is with the people in the room making it.
And that's not to discredit Oprah, because then that's what she's saying is Oprah was very nice and sweet when she did compliment her. Robyn complimented Oprah, is what I'm saying.
I've realized that while Sister Wives tells our story, the real magic is in our own home.
Specifically in the bedroom, probably, right? That's where the magic happens.
Epilogue. Do you have a lot to say about this?
I didn't highlight anything from it. I skimmed over this.
They had to give Kody another chapter because he got to write the prologue, and then he had a little bit to say in the beginning of the book when they were talking about the formation of these relationships. But then he didn't get to talk the whole rest of the book.
And they said, here you go. You can have 8 pages at the end. We'll call it the epilogue.
That no one's going to read. Maybe that's how we should treat it. Should we even address it? Because I know it made him, like, it satisfied him to be able to get the last word.
The realization that I had was that this book was written before they even had the idea for My Sister Wife's Closet, because Kody was already pushing their great fitness fundamentalist business plan as part of this chapter, or as part of this epilogue here, with his awesome fitness coach that his wives have been going to. I think that was Douchebag Bill.
The only thing that I really believe Kody feels deep within his loins,
Oh no.
his loins, is I'm sure that there are millions of people in the world who misinterpret what I do as hedonistic and selfish. My response is, every day I work my tail off for this family. Every day I manage 4 separate marriages, entirely different relationships, 4 distinct personalities. I'm not doing this for fun and games. I'm doing it because it's my calling. I'm doing it because of my faith. I do it for love, but I'm going to cross that part. I'm going to strike that now.
Yeah, that's not, he changed it.
I do think that this is something that has been a thorn in his side for a really long time, was that people felt like he was selfish in having 4 wives because they were fulfilling either sexual or emotional needs for him. And so he's living on the fringe of society in a hedonistic way. I don't think that he enjoyed this. It was very difficult to live polygamy, and
He wasn't great at it.
he was not good at
He didn't
it.
excel at it. It was very difficult. It was always facing some sort of turmoil or struggle.
It meant that there were a lot of demands on him, and I do think he resented that, and that the reason he did this was because his faith told him that he was supposed to do it, and then he felt a calling to do something that's going to reward you further. Like, doesn't that also feel a bit like it's set up to lead people down the path of polygamy?
And
I
it's
do think that
self-serving.
that's honest.
It's self-serving, not selfless. The way that he's trying to say, that's not it. It's not these selfish reasons that you're saying, but it is probably other selfish reasons, just not the ones that you're listing off. So you have it wrong, but you're getting close.
Yeah, I think being the center of a lot of people's world was probably the most attractive thing about polygamy to him.
Very appealing. Yes.
And that is Becoming Sister Wives, a singular story of plural marriage. Now, next week, we'll start our reading of Sister Wife, a memoir, where Christine contradicts 60-70% of what's in this book.
Just her segments or just everything?
Entirely.
Oh, okay. Entirely. In general.
Which, by the way, if you want to listen to Christine's book, or you want to know what's in the book, I'm going to say listen because I'm about to talk about an audiobook.
Okay, yeah.
If you subscribe to Spotify Premium, if you subscribe to Amazon Music, if you pay somewhere to listen to stuff, go check because it may be included in what you're already paying for your monthly subscription.
Because the audiobook did drop, so it's Christine in her own words reading the book, and it's about 8 hours long, I think. So usually depending on the platform that you have, if you have a set number of hours for the month that you can listen to audiobooks and that gets renewed every month, hey, maybe take the one for September and give that a listen real quick. A lot of folks on the Discord are really enjoying it.
We're going to be breaking the book up into 3 parts. So we'll be reading it in like roughly 100-page increments.
Quite a jump from our 15 pages for 2 chapters that we had to do more recently.
I'm worried because we had a lot to say for a lot smaller of a page count.
Well, I'm not going to be highlighting stuff. So I think we're just going to go through.
We're just going to talk more of a reflection of our reading.
Yes. So it is going to be very conversational, book club sort of format there. But yeah, let us know what you're thinking, what your standout parts are as you're reading or listening to it.
There's a ton going on the podcast and the Patreon. We are gearing up for season 20 of Sister Wives to premiere at the end of September. We will be recapping Special Forces, which starts on September 25th.
So that's what's going to be on this feed. We also have Seeking Sister Wife. That's going to be on Surviving Reality. And then we have our Welcome to Plathville as we're closing out the season. That should be going through the end of September here. That's still over on Surviving Reality as well. If you haven't been catching those episodes, it's just getting good. We're getting to Lydia's wedding and there's lots of tantrums that are bound to erupt here in multiple instances. We also have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which we are going to be doing those in a different format. So not as a podcast episode.
Not so much a recap, but an after party. That'll be live on our Patreon on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Maybe like 9:15, so we have a minute to get downstairs after
Something
the
like
show
that.
ends.
A couple minutes after the show ends. Bio breaks are very important. But just because it's on the Patreon, it's not restricted to paid members only. It's open for all members. So if you're not a paid member on the Patreon, you can still get access to those episodes even if you sign up as a free member.
So go and do that before September 16th if you're interested in the after parties for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
And you'll get those emails as soon as we go live.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.